Well, I can't be the only one that's noticed how biblical, how religious the assassination of Charlie Kirk has got. Has anybody noticed that people that maybe 10, 15 years ago would be talking about how the banking system works, UFOs, life on Mars, moon bases, stuff like that, are now turning up and supporting political parties and getting and going down the rabbit hole, or the rabbit hole of Christian nationalism. And the Christian nationalism is on the rise, or getting propagated through the power of the internets, worldwide to a certain degree. I mean, it's getting propagated in Russia. It's getting propagated throughout all of Europe by elements which has existed for some time all over Europe. The far right of politics. A lot of known groups, a lot of groups that have came out of groups, etc, etc, and it's all kind of the same rhetoric throughout the years, the great replacement and all that. And look, I'm not telling you what you think, so there's no point sitting there shouting or writing furious comments like, no but look, but no but I, but no but look, and quoting all the stats and all that at me, man. You get on board with whatever, you nail your flag to whatever mast you want. That's my prerogative, just like it is yours. But how the hell was this? Well, in fact, I know he was like a onward Christian soldier. But anyway, what I wanted to touch on is the principle of separation of religion and state, which, you know, like all the crackpot Americans love to go and pick apart the Constitution to suit their politics today and whatnot. So with that Charlie Kirk is getting held up like some sort of a Jesus figure. Like, I'm pretty sure I've heard the word martyr and all that getting used, and his missus was out talking about the evildoers. Blows my mind, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's have a wee look at this. So the US Constitution doesn't use the exact phrase separation of church and state, but this concept is rooted in the First Amendment, which states Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The phrase itself was famously articulated by Thomas Jefferson in 1802 letter to the Danbury Baptist Association, where he described a wall of separation between church and state. This principle ensured freedom of religion by preventing the government from establishing a religion or hindering the free practice of faith. So it's just a concept, but at this moment in time, you've got Donald Trump, the President of the United States, saying that he was saved by God. You've got Charlie Kirk's assassination getting treated like some sort of a biblical event, be a lot of getting propagated as some sort of a biblical event, and a lot of this Christian nationalism, rightly or wrongly, man. I've seen it with people I know, and them gravitating towards the organised religious side of things, and I would argue not by accident, and I would point at some of the puppeteers behind a lot of these movements. One that I constantly refer to, and people think I'm maybe it's my tinfoil hat, this is my madness, but one I always point to is Jim Dawson. That guy is ball deep. He used to run about with the pro-life mob over in America. Oh, he runs a marketing company. He's some would say a marketing genius. He cut his teeth doing a lot of marketing for the pro-life mob over in America. They're the ones that go about killing people and blowing up cars and setting places on fire and all that. The militant pro-life mob. Then he came over here and he was involved in flag protests. He raised millions of pounds for the BNP, and that was the point when it was the northeast of England somewhere. Can't remember the exact area, but they got a councillor in. They managed to get a councillor voted in. The BNP, that was that early 2000s maybe? Stick BNP councillor elected and you'll get the... Hold on, I can do it. Back in 2009, the BNP won its first seat on an English county council with a victory in Lancaster. The far right party took the Padiham and Burnley West ward. They took it away from Labour. And that was Jim Dawson who done the fundraising for them back then, got them millions of pounds, which got them a seat on the council for the first ever time. And he's still behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff, man. He was one of the founding guys behind Britain First. Jim Dawson was doing fundraising and doing a lot of work for the BNP. At the same time, Tommy Robinson was going to their meetings. A lot of people that were members of the BNP during that time are now all out on YouTube independently doing what they're doing. My argument is they're not doing it independently, they're still kind of working under the umbrella of the movement, the ideology behind the BNP, but they put their heads together and came up with the plan of, on the surface, appearing to separate and be independent, but ultimately working together, but separating off into different pigeonholes to appeal to different demographics, but still push the same message. That's why you get your Paul Goldens, that's why you get Paul Goldens, Tommy Robinsons, that Owens guy. I always get his name right, I forgot his name. The Owens guy. There's lots of them out there, man. All the ex-BM, Nick Griffin. He was working with Jim Dawson doing his Knights Templar thing, trying to disguise his voice and all that, and people unscrambled it, and it was just Nick Griffin. And Nick Griffin's still pals with Jim Dowson. Nick Griffin was the leader of the BNP at the time when they got the councillor. And if you just look at all the apparatus and the people behind all this stuff and whatnot, and then look at the groups that Tommy Robinson's ball deep with, a lot of your football casual groups they're associated with. I mean, this is my conspiracy. This is a conspiracy I see. And I think when people look into it, you see all... You can say people aren't guilty by association, but you can see the kind of network that they're all working for. All the pals, all the muckers, all pulling in the same direction. You know, so Tommy Robinson went independent. He got all the menopausal women, old men with one tooth, and football hooligan demographic. Golden, whatever his name is, I forget his first name now. Golden and Big Tits, whose name escapes me right now as well. They had their fucking Rain Man demographic. James Owen, or whatever his name was, man. I can't even remember his name. The guy that sent, when he was member of the BNP, he get charged with sending razor blades to Jewish people through the post. Anyway, I've rattled on enough. And like the people I'm mentioning are all Christian nationalists, international nationalists. You could even put Vag in that bracket as well if you go up towards like the clique behind a lot of the far right apparatus, the real aristocracy behind it. You know, you're mostly pals and whatnot. You know, your lords. That's how Tommy Robinson get invited into the Lords and all that shit, man, because they've got pals in very high places. A few... Oswald Mosley, just check out his fucking network. And what's happening now is not new. The groups that are doing it are not new. They might have new names and rebranded and new PR. Anyway, it's me rattled on enough. I could fucking rant about this stuff for ages. And again, I'm not saying this stuff to be popular, man. I'm probably upsetting everybody, upsetting more people than I'm fucking... It would be so easy to sit up here and just say what people want to hear. It'd be the easiest thing ever, you know? Just blow smoke up fucking people's arses and stuff, but that's not the point. That's like... That's why I've got my Rangers channel. Just go over there, talk football in a safe space for Rangers and Celtic and football fans alike. Whereas over here, man, speak my truth, and my truth fucking gets people's heads a spinning. And I'm certainly not trying to force my madness on anybody else. I just have my own way of seeing things and try and stay true to myself. Play catchphrase. Say what I see. Say what I see. Get it? Got it. Good. Catchy. No cats. No cheese. Maybe only some Oswald Mosley Lovies.